Hey, this is Isaac from Turn Sounds. Give us all of your trust.
Welcome to Just Keep Walking, a podcast focused on the Walking Dead TV show. This episode we'll be discussing Season 10, Episode 9, Squeeze.
Squeeze.
That's what it's called.
Yeah. This whole time I had no idea.
Yeah, I mean, depending how you think about it, it sounds kind of strange. You could think about it in relation to Negan and Alpha or Jerry.
Right into that.
Right into that. I'm your host, Ben. Thanks for tuning in to Just Keep Walking. Joined by two good friends, Isaac and Liam.
Hey.
Introduce
Hey
yourselves.
guys, how we doing?
Oh, doing good.
That's good.
Looking forward to this. Yeah, we got a good show tonight. So, Liam and I've actually we've watched. Liam, you watched it yesterday. I watched it yesterday, and then I watched it again with Isaac just now, who watched it for the first time. So yeah, we're all very keen to get into the episode. So we're gonna sort of dive straight into the big talking points mostly from the end of the episode. So we won't waste your time there. We'll get straight into that, and then after that we'll just go into like a full sort of a bit more in-depth review of some of the other stuff in the episode.
Cool.
And
like it.
and we'll have a segment at the end as well. But so full spoiler warning, Isaac. You
Yeah.
can.
Oh, yeah, I'm designing a sound effect for this. I don't have
Okay.
it quite yet, but I suppose for the meantime, spoilers ahead!
Fantastic. So you have been warned. There's spoilers all for this episode, but we're not talking about comic spoilers or any leaks or anything that's upcoming. So
Very
yeah, without further ado, let's fade out that music there
good. Mm-hmm.
and get into it. So
Here we go.
really, I think the big talking point from the end of the episode is Connie and Magna.
Ah.
Yeah. Oh, and / anger, frustration towards Carol, which is probably what Isaac's feeling.
I realize right now I've got my arms crossed, but it's not because I'm that mad. I think I've had some time to cool off a little bit.
Okay.
But,
Yeah, okay. Well, let's talk Connie and Magna first, and then we'll get into Carol a little bit.
Just look at the flowers.
Oh.
I wish she'd look at the flowers.
Yeah. About time. All right, so the big question. So, Isaac, you've just watched it just
Yeah.
a few minutes ago. Do you think they're actually dead, or are you holding out hope that they could be alive?
My number one, and I think we spoke about this, actually, we did on one of our other shows, Midshot. We reviewed Rambo a little while back.
Yeah.
And similar, there's a collapsed mine tunnel he gets buried in, and they're all like, oh, he's dead, he's probably dead.
Mm.
But we knew better, because it's
Yeah.
like, unless you see somebody die on screen, never assume that they're gone. So I'm holding to that, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And Liam, what do you reckon?
I'm holding out hope that they're not dead purely because both of those characters, I love them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And if that's how they're going to go out, I'm going to be really, really upset and disappointed.
Yeah. No, I agree. So watching the episode, yeah, something just felt a little bit off to me. Like it didn't quite seem like real. I don't know. It felt like maybe it would have been a bit more dramatic or something if they had actually died. It was pretty dramatic, but yeah, I'm holding out hope, and that's how I was feeling watching the episode. I was like, oh, I really don't know. They could be dead, but they might not be. If you really don't want to know, then you can skip the next minute or so. But I've like 99% confirmation, and this is based on Talking Dead, which is officially released by AMC. They want you to watch the show, so it's not like a leak or a spoiler or anything. But in Talking Dead, they'll be very clear. If someone's died, they'll do an in memoriam thing and make a big deal out of it. But in Talking Dead, they said Magna and Connie are trapped down in the mine.
Right.
And they said the question is, are they alive or are they not?
Right.
So that leads me to think that they probably could still be alive, at least one of them.
Okay.
But that's obviously not confirmed. And they could be just trying to, play with our expectations and tricking us. But yeah.
I kind of got that myself from Connie's sister. What's her name?
Kelly.
Kelly. How she's pretty much saying we can't help them from here.
Yeah.
We need to find a different way. So she hasn't really given up on them, so to speak. She just understands the reality of their situation. So
Yeah.
from watching that, I kind of thought the same thing. Like, you know, you're not really going to do any good there. There's
Sure.
probably other tunnels.
Sure.
Yeah, Carol.
Yeah.
Like, how many times do you need to tell her, right?
Ugh.
Who knows?
let me know when you want me to get into that.
Yeah, yeah. All right.
At
into
your
some-
own pace.
Yeah. So really, I mean, I for me, as far as like thoughts or theories go, and any of your guys' thoughts are welcome. I'm thinking Connie. I really hope she's still alive.
Oh,
'Cause
absolutely,
She's
yeah.
like one of my favorite characters. But I feel like maybe they could, you know, find Connie's trapped and still alive, but Magnus died, or they could both still be alive. But really, they could go any direction with it. So we'll have to wait and see, I suppose. Yeah, Carol. How are we feeling?
Angry.
Yeah.
Straight up angry.
Yeah.
Like, of all the times Daryl has pulled her in and said, "Come on, man, what are you doing?" It's the same thing repeatedly. It's frustrating. You know?
It is frustrating.
Seriously, and he called a spade a spade. He's like, you know, the people you care about are getting hurt now.
Yeah.
And then what does
absolutely.
she do? Oh, well, fine. Let's just go throw a stick of dynamite down. Like,
Yeah.
what?
Well, furthermore from that, so her crazy past has been full of, like, you know, self-doubt and having all of those panic attacks, and then the problems with the pills and stuff.
Yeah.
And now we want to throw claustrophobia into the mix as well.
Mm.
Like, this particular episode really made it feel claustrophobic, which I think was done
Yeah.
quite well.
They
But
do
when
a
you've
good
got
job.
her starting to panic and say useless things like, I can't do it, oh, I can't do it, and you're like, obviously you can do it, you just think that you're not able to. So, like, that's a particular point of contention for me, people saying I can't, when clearly you can. But anyway,
Sure.
and so,
Jerry has the right to say I can't.
yeah, exactly.
But not you, Carol.
Exactly. And he had way bigger resolve as well. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
they're both, Daryl and her are sitting down, and they have that conversation where Daryl kind of says, and this is something that I would love to talk about in the future,
Yeah.
where you really see that Daryl has learnt from his mistakes back from the days when he, you know, punched Negan because of his anger and he wanted
Yeah.
revenge. And now he's sitting here saying it's not about revenge, it's about, you know, fighting for the future and everything like that. And I was like, yeah, hats off to you,
You
Daryl.
can really
Like,
see
yeah.
how he's grown and learned from that stuff, hey?
absolutely. So you've got him being the voice of reason in that situation. And then Carol just goes YOLO over back to the dynamite thing. And it's like, I found myself getting annoyed because it's like, don't redeem yourself by, you know, saying how you're scared and you just want, because she has this monologue where she's like, I just want Alpha to suffer. Don't just want to kill, I want her to suffer. And she's
Yeah.
starting to admit all of these emotions. And I'm like, you're not tricking me for 1 second. Like, you know, I'm not falling into the trap of feeling sorry for you. Like, you're past that for me, even though everybody's redeemable technically. But then, yeah, this, you know, this heartfelt music is playing as she's walking along the edge with this dynamite stick. And I'm like, this could be it. She could, like, sacrifice herself or die, you know, destroying the horde or something, and I'd be so fine with that. But then she doesn't even die from that anyway. She just ends up hurting more people from that.
Mm.
And, like, you can tell Daryl's, like, had enough by the end. He's
Yeah.
just like,
Mm.
nah.
That actually was pivotal, I thought.
Yeah.
The way he responded, like, I just don't want to bar of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked that. I did really like that.
Really good. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And like the old Daryl we saw back in season 1, he would have just full on, you know, got in a fight right at the end
Yeah.
there, started punching.
Yeah.
You can really see just what a mature character and person he is, that he's, you know, he's just not even going to say anything. He's just going to walk off, and that's how he expresses his anger, which is yeah, it's cool. It's cool to see how it's grown in that way.
Actually brushes her off. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
Just don't.
Legit.
Just
Yeah.
leave it. Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's still not to sulk. Like, he was like, he said, there's got to be another way in.
Yeah.
I like
that's true. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's like, nah, I'm done with you. I can't believe you did that, but I need to get busy and try and help these people out. There's got to be another way to find them.
Yeah.
Straight on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And man, like, well, yeah, my thoughts on Carol is it's really going to depend what they do in the next
Yeah.
few episodes, and if she can redeem herself from this, which there are ways she could do it, for me at least. But man, that it really feels like they don't want us to like Carol at the moment, the
Yeah.
writers, because
From
it's
like
so
ever.
yeah. She's towards the start of the episode when they had that chat, her and Daryl, I was like, okay, all right, if she's, after having this really big talk with Daryl, she's realized she's getting people hurt and stuff like that. Okay, now she can move on from here. I'm okay with that. But then she goes again and goes behind their back and
Yeah.
come on.
Like, I get that she's still dealing with the loss of Henry, which,
Mm.
a lot of people still are. Not
Sure.
us, but,
Yeah.
So,
I liked Henry.
oh, I'm sure you did.
But are you dealing with the loss?
Yeah.
Oh no, that's all right.
Use this podcast as a way to deal with it. No, but so that's her motivation. And I get that, grief can make people do crazy things.
Sure.
But on and on and on, like, we've already talked about the crazy things that she's done being grief-stricken before.
Absolutely.
So, like, I don't know. Like, I'll be fine if they redeem her again and she does something, heroic or sacrifices herself. But before all of that happens, I want her to actually say, like, I'm sorry. I was wrong. I'm an idiot. I've been endangering people. Like, even at the end of this episode, she just wanted to be yelled at. She wanted,
Sure.
because it would
yeah.
have somehow made her feel better knowing that it was her fault.
And even if she does sacrificing herself if it's to kill Alpha or the Horde, that's still her getting her way. Yeah,
exactly.
So that for future episodes for me, if she's gonna redeem herself, the thing that's really gonna make it work for me is if she passes up an opportunity to hurt Alpha and the Horde
yeah.
in order to either save Connie and Magna or do something else good. She passes up the thing she wants most. Like, that's what's really gonna redeem her for me. So I hope that
like
she
that.
does that.
Her mercy outweighs her wrath.
Yeah, well put.
Yeah.
Put.
Yeah.
Is that what he says? Outweighs?
Uh,
Okay.
prevails over my wrath.
That's
I
right.
think that's it. I
yeah,
think
that's it. Almost got it. Oh, well.
There we
Tomato,
go.
You can
tomato.
edit that in, right?
There we can edit that. Yeah, so we'll see where we go with that with Carol, but she's definitely not in our good books at the moment. I think
No.
most people can agree. Just to clarify though, a lot of people, in many fan bases tend to get real toxic towards the actors and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Melissa McBride's an amazing actor. We love her. Got nothing against the person. It's just the character we're annoyed with. So just to clarify.
Well
that.
put, yeah.
There we go. Carol. Jerry. Oh man.
Gerald.
They were teasing us here. So they announced a few days before the episode the Talking Dead guests. And usually if there's like a big death or a character moment or whatever, they'll have the actor on the couch to talk about it. And so they announced the actor of Jerry and Connie would be on Talking Dead.
Oh,
And I
no.
was like, oh, no. We can't have anything happen to either of those.
No.
And yeah, so every time, especially, with the zombies grabbing his boot and stuff like that,
Yeah.
like, okay, this is it. That it really seemed like that was going to be it for him. But no, thankfully it wasn't to be.
No, he had some good, strong boots.
They're the true heroes of the episode, Jerry's boots.
Like, if ever there was a spot for product placement saying, buy these boots, they're durable
yeah.
and all of that was the time to do it.
Absolutely, yeah. What's like one of those brand Kathmandu or whatever? Oh, I'm so glad I
No.
got my Kathmandu boots on today.
Kathmandu don't sponsor us, but they could.
Yeah. And then even the second time when he's holding up the thing, like, that could have been his time to go as well.
Yeah.
So it's twice. Oh man, but
Tugged on the heartstrings.
oh, we
But
love
even
you,
that,
Jerry.
like, he puts down the log or whatever and then just goes underneath it and climbs back out the hole. What was he trying to hold up?
Yeah, they didn't explain it too well. They definitely could have done that better. I'm assuming it was just that, the things were collapsing and that was going to at least improve their chances of getting out. But in the end, there was still a hole behind. That's my guess, at least.
And one other thing that, just if I could bring this
Sure.
up, I've just thought about, being inside a collapsed cavern would be like frightening and everything, not knowing you're being found. But imagine being deaf through that as well.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't even think of that.
Because you'd still
Like-
feel, the vibrations
Yeah.
and stuff, but that would be, hectic. And she can't see now, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
hopefully Magna's still alive and they can at least, like, feel each other and ride on their hands and stuff like that. But,
Gee.
yeah, scary.
Hmm.
Very scary. Wow. All right.
Yet I smile,
And let me turn that up. Why don't you hit that again?
and yet I smile.
And yet she smiles. I believe Connie would be smiling down there. I like Connie.
Yeah.
we'll get some more on that a bit later. Other big thing was Alpha and Negan.
Oh man.
Yeah, thoughts?
I will butt right out of this.
Do you know what I was thinking when that scene was taking place?
What were you thinking?
From the get-go, I'm like, wouldn't it be funny if he turns around and she's naked?
Oh, really?
And then he turns around, I'm like, oh my gosh, are you serious?
Yeah, that just out of nowhere. Hey,
Yeah.
I called it in my mind. I was like, as soon as she said, you know, to him, take your clothes off, I'm like, there's a reason why the camera's been on Negan this entire time.
right, okay.
Like, I thought due to the tease previously where she sort of held a knife to him, which is like, you know,
Yeah,
gonna cut,
held a
cut-
knife down below.
Yeah. I was like, dude, watch out. She's gonna like nip you.
Yeah.
I thought that was what was gonna happen.
Yeah.
And then, you know, Negan would have been like, damn. And, you know, would have been terrible for him. So I can only
That's
imagine.
his reaction. Oh, damn.
She would then respond, classic Negan.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had a feeling it was coming up just because they, in the rating for this episode, they put like a sexual content warning, which they don't usually do because
Yeah.
I like that there's not much of that on the show, and there wasn't much of it anyway to warrant the rating, but yeah, that gave me a hint. I'm like, oh, something's got to happen. But that was
It
just
didn't
gross.
feel very consensual as far as Negan's part. Like,
Sure.
I mean,
he seemed
he
fairly
too-
happy about it.
too afraid to say no.
Maybe. Yeah.
Hashtag me too.
Who knows,
A little
hey?
bit.
I mean, hopefully, if he's just trying to gain their trust, then I guess that's one way to get in there.
True.
But
I can't wait for the banter between him and Beta now.
Oh,
Do you know
absolutely.
what I did?
Absolutely. Yeah. So that was interesting. We'll come back to that scene a bit later, maybe.
I
So
hope not.
I hope maybe not. But why don't we just get into the plot and what happens? So maybe we'll talk about the Negan and the Whisperers storyline first. We'll just go through some of the things that happened there, and then talk about the cave stuff. So right at the start, you've got Gamma and Beta and Alpha all having a meeting, saying, "Look, they knew exactly where to look for the Horde, so there's probably a spy among us." Gamma's acting. Look, I'm sure she's a good actor. I'm not having a go at her, but it's like she had, the big eyes looking around. She was like, oh, couldn't look more
Yeah.
suspicious. So whether that's probably more of a character problem than an actor problem, or I don't know where that came from, but
Yeah.
yeah, that seemed a bit over the top to me.
It was odd of her to start immediately whistling and shuffling around in the dirt, you know. Yeah.
Spy? What are
Yeah.
you talking about? Yeah. But that was all right. And then we got Negan with probably one of my favorite lines. Sorry to butt in, no pun intended. Yeah, there's a lot of gross stuff surrounding the Whisperers this episode, including the toilet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Negan comes up and confronts Alpha, saying, "Hey, I reckon Gamma might be the spy." Alpha's not very happy about that, and threatens him with a knife and stuff like that. But eventually, sort of goes to, and you can see it's actually really playing on her, and goes to Beta and says, "Where is Gamma?" And he's like, "Oh well, she hasn't come back. She was supposed to be here at this time, and such and such." So fairly quickly, her, Negan's suspicions seem to be fairly confirmed with Alpha. Yeah, you guys feel free to just pitch in your thoughts.
Well,
with any
yeah,
of
I
these
was going to
things.
say, does it seem like it's unraveling a little quickly? Gamma's sort of the part that she has to play. Like, we've already seen her sister has been killed.
Right,
She's had the
okay.
truth about Lydia
Lydia.
revealed to her, and so she knows that Alpha lied to her. It's hard to keep up with these Alpha, Beta, Gamma names. Yeah, that seems to be unraveling quicker than I thought it would.
Yeah,
don't know.
It does seem to be happening pretty quick, but I don't know. It didn't feel too rushed to me, at least. But I guess it depends really where they go with it. I'm glad that they're not dragging it out if they don't need to. At least.
Yeah, that's very true.
He had a few good lines, Negan, in this one. I love the looks like Mommy's mad at me. When he just like
Yeah.
says it to the other whisperer. And then the other guy's just staring back. He's not amused at all. He's just like, shut up, man.
I've had enough of you.
I just love all the reactions that he gets because, you know, that's his big thing. He loves being witty and you know, getting a big reaction out of people, but he's just getting nothing out of these guys, yet he's still trying it every opportunity. Oh, gotta love him.
Yeah,
Gotta love him.
absolutely.
Yeah, so then, you know, when we come back to them, there's Negan and Alpha walking. He's constantly talking. He's like, all right, let's just be silent for a minute. Oh, you know, I'm really not comfortable with long silences.
Yeah.
I can't even
And
go
I'm man
10
enough to
seconds.
admit it.
He's really not a good match for the Whisperers, is he?
No.
Not
Not
in the
quite.
slightest.
No. And then, you know, obviously got crass man deserves a crass reward. There is a line in here which Liam, you'll know what I'm talking about. Isaac, maybe not. We're not going to get into comic spoilers. There's a line about a praying mantis in there, which is a heavy nod to something that happens in the comics between two characters around this point, and that's as specific as I'll get. But so whether or not they're going to do something similar in the show is yet to be seen. But yeah, that line definitely stood out as, oh, that's definitely a reference to the comics.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that.
Oh, really? No way. Okay.
Yeah, that didn't cross my mind at
Do we
all.
get to know what the two characters were, or is that like a
Nah,
little-
that's as
okay.
specific as I'm going to get.
Okay.
Because
Oh.
it still could happen in the show.
Yeah, that's got me thinking now.
We'll see. Yeah, so that's pretty much it as far as the Whisperers storyline goes. So back to the cave stuff. So we start off. You commented, oh, that's good. You know, getting right into it. They start
Yeah.
straight where the cliffhanger ended. They're in the cave. They're trapped. It didn't waste any time getting straight into it. So that's good. I like when they're
Yeah.
snappy about it.
And the visuals as well, when you see like the light shining and you got all the hands sticking up in the air like
it looked really
a
cool, didn't
mosh
it?
pit of like walkers and stuff. Then it's like, yeah.
You've got to edit that scene, make all the torches like multicolored.
Yeah.
With the
I want to see that. If anyone
Okay.
listening can do that and send it to us, please do. We'll share it.
Yeah.
So that's good to get right into it. The Scream, we already talked about. Some people liked it, some people didn't. That's all right.
People liked it.
I've heard a few comments of people who liked it, so yeah. Each to their own. That's
see.
fair enough.
Okay.
It's got its merits. But yeah, pretty much straight up they go into, okay, look, here's these ledges or these things sticking up. I don't know what you call them, but we can use those as like platforms to jump across.
Yeah.
And I like how they just get straight to solving the problem. They don't sit around crying or whatever, you know, they go straight into it. Man, like risky, hey. I
Yeah.
was very worried.
Oh yeah.
Did it seem too early to you to have, you know, one of them fall into the pit to like show the seriousness? I mean, I know that Kelly kind of stumbled a bit on the first one, but did you feel watching it, Liam, that any characters were in danger, or were you like, it's too
No,
early to...
I actually did. Yeah, I thought Jerry was gonna potentially
Oh, no.
dislodge a rock or yeah, purely because of I think it was in the trailer, wasn't it, where he
Right.
looks like he's stuck and he's yelling and whatnot.
Oh,
So I
you
thought
thought
perhaps-
that might have happened at the start.
Yeah, well, not necessarily that specific scene, but I thought maybe that is sort of what happens. You know, maybe he jumps onto the ledge and because he's a bigger gentleman,
Mm-hmm.
the ledge is like, whoa, come on, man, I wasn't ready. I'm not ready for this.
Yeah.
Ledge breaks. He's then yelling, get me out, get me out.
Okay, interesting.
Mm.
Before we actually continue through the plot, that reminds me of something we were going to do earlier. So we've actually written out a few just little predictions. They can be either for all major things that are going to happen in the episode or small things. So we wrote out predictions and sent them to the group beforehand, written upside down so that we wouldn't read them till later. So I'm just going to read out what some of the things were we thought were going to happen. So my one was specifically for Jerry. Because of a few of the teasers they'd put out online, that clip of I'm stuck and all that, and the fact that he was on Talking Dead, I was thinking that maybe he would get stuck like early in the episode, and then a big part of it, you know, would revolve around trying to get him out and get him free.
Okay.
And I thought that's maybe why they would have released that clip of him saying I'm stuck, because then that would lead to a big storyline of the episode. But no, that wasn't to be.
So you didn't actually predict his death? More
No,
so just,
I
okay.
thought he'd probably get out, but it would still largely revolve around him getting out of that particular spot.
Fair enough.
But that wasn't true. None of us were accurate at all. Isaacs was maybe the closest, maybe.
Mhm.
This is Liam's one. Whisperers with the herd attack, but fail to kill anyone. So you're talking attack Alexandria?
No, I thought that perhaps there'd be a couple of whisperers amongst the.
Oh,
horde
right.
down there.
Okay. Yeah, so they're coming up and trying
Yeah.
to kill the group. Okay. Yeah, that would have been interesting,
That
actually.
did happen later on.
It did.
A little bit, but they didn't come out of the horde. It was obviously from the top, and they managed
Right.
to squeeze through. Well, that was what it looked like to me, anyways.
Mm. Oh, it would have been really cool. They're jumping across the ledges, right? What if one zombie reaches up and stabs the last guy?
That's what I was thinking.
and it's a whisperer
Ooh.
hidden in the herd there.
That's such
That
a
would be
risky
something.
placement, though. Imagine you're that guy. Oh, boy.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
risky. But anyway, that could have been. And then so you said they stab possibly, but everyone survives, and you think someone will be bitten, but you're not sure who. And I guess so. There were quite a few close encounters with jumping across the ledges and Jerry and stuff like that. Do you think it's possible anyone could have actually been bitten, but they haven't told the rest of the group yet, and maybe we'll find that out later?
Actually, yeah, it's very likely. Well,
Hmm.
I mean, not very likely, but it's entirely plausible.
'Cause I've done that once or twice before on
Yeah.
the show, where someone will go, "Hey, look, I got bit back there."
Mm,
Yeah,
possibly. Because Kelly, if anyone, I would think it would be Kelly.
yeah, me too. Hey,
But then she just seemed to, scramble up in a flurry. There was no sign that she got bitten as far as pain on her face or anything like that. So if that does come up later, I'll kind of go, oh,
Okay. Although
kinda
she did have quite a violent reaction. She started punching one of the walkers and
True.
really going at it. So yeah, it's possible. I wouldn't be too surprised actually, but
Yeah,
I
fair
guess we'll
enough.
have to wait and see. And then then Isaac's somewhat sarcastic
was not sarcastic.
prediction. Carol freaking finally falls down in a pile of walkers, but even the walkers won't eat it because they find it too annoying.
Which, I mean, not too far
Yeah.
off.
And again,
Yeah.
entirely plausible.
Entirely.
That ledge that
Somewhat.
Carol was standing on found her too annoying and just decided to drop off.
True, yeah.
So,
Ah, Carol.
cliffhangers.
Cliff, yeah. So yeah, we're all pretty far off, really. But we'll keep doing that. Maybe we'll get something right once in a while. But I like them when they get across the other part. Magna's really having a go at Carol, just saying like, "Oh, why didn't you think of your claustrophobia before you got us in this mess and stuff like that?" Which is, it's fair that they're
It's
angry. at her.
deserving, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, Aaron and Daryl in particular, they have they go about it in a good way of saying like, look guys, this isn't the time. You're probably right, but this isn't the time and the place. We got into this together. We're going to get out of this together. So that's all that matters for now. So I like that line of dialogue anyway. And then also we've got, like you mentioned earlier, that Daryl and Carol just sitting down and chatting. And I really liked that scene, that chat that they had.
Yeah.
I thought the dialogue was just like on point. It was, really well written, really captured the emotion from Daryl, what he was feeling like. Look, I've been begging you to open up and talk to me, and I just don't know what to do anymore. Like, I want to be there for you, but you're really not letting me. And then
Yeah.
she opens up and really shares where she's coming from. So I thought that was quite a great scene.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Did you have any thoughts on that one?
I in the same boat as you. I thought the dialogue was really well done, and the emotion that you feel from it, or for me personally, the emotion that I felt was like, man, he's laying his heart out, and I loved that really authentic feeling of I don't know what to do.
That's it.
Like, I've
Mm.
screamed black and blue to say, hey, you're putting people at risk. This is a problem. I'm trying to help you, but you're spitting in my face. I've got nothing.
And I love
you really felt that.
Absolutely, yeah, you did. Hey, and I love so much that it's not, him just being angry and just yelling at her or whatever. Like, you can tell he really genuinely cares about her.
Yeah.
But he just, he's come to this point where he just doesn't know what to do. So he's not saying it out of anger or anything like that, but he's just, it was a good scene.
Yeah, part of what makes it such great writing as well is that Daryl is really saying what we're all feeling.
Absolutely, yeah,
Like,
true.
because in a sense, we've been there alongside Carol since season 1, like Daryl has been. And it's kind of like, yeah, he's been doing all of this for her all of that time, and it's just starting to weigh on him. And it's kind of like, when are you actually just going to accept that, we're good friends and we need to look out for each other and all of that?
Right.
Yeah.
And so by him saying all of that, we're kind of there along behind him saying, like, exactly, will you just look at the flowers? Like,
Yeah. And this is where Daryl's really shining and working well, sort of, as pretty much the lead of the show, because people were a bit iffy when Rick was leaving of, is Daryl going to be able to hold it up or how's this going to work? But I think it's moments like this where you go, yeah, this is really working, having him sort of leading the show. You can really get behind the character.
Absolutely.
Like you're saying, the audience is feeling how he's feeling, so it just works that much better. Yeah. So that was good. We've got, then there's some Whisperers attack Magna while she's looking around and stuff like that. So they go, okay, the Whisperers are coming in. There's got to be, they have to have come in somewhere. There's got to be a way that's this way. And there was a line that I didn't think was so good, where they find the arrow on the wall. And you see it straight away. You're like, okay. And Jerry's like, oh, I think they went this way. You could have just left it there. That would have been it. And then it's like, oh, what? Did you see them run off? No, but I know a road sign when I see one.
Yeah.
It felt a bit too much like they were spoon feeding us as the audience. But oh well, that's all right. That was like one of my few sort of complaints as far as dialogue goes. It seemed like they sort of didn't trust us to be paying attention.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, then we've got a nice scene of Connie and Carol together where she, writes on her hand that you are okay, which I thought was a really good moment. Hey,
She actually spelled "you need to go."
And Carol was like, "Oh, you are okay," and Connie, no, that's not what I said.
You had one job.
But in all seriousness, it was a nice scene. I thought, even just good to see those characters bonding, because we haven't really seen them much together. They've been on the either side of the Daryl situation, but yeah,
Hey, true.
it was a
that,
nice
yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
So Carol's got to go through. She's claustrophobic. You know what? I was feeling for her. That didn't look like a comfortable tunnel to be crawling through whatsoever. Do either of you guys have you ever had claustrophobia or anything like that?
Well, speaking for myself,
Yeah.
it's not the most comfortable thing. I definitely don't get it as much as other people I know.
Right.
Like, there are other people that can't even be in a small room, whatever.
Mm.
But if you've got room to move around your elbows to commando crawl, that's a fine space to be in.
Right.
Like, it's when you have to, worm shimmy through, a tube hole or something. That's when
Sure.
it gets, you could get stuck at any moment. You
Definitely.
see, what's the lady with the long hair?
Magna.
Anyway. She's crawling on her hands and knees at one point through the tunnel, and I'm like, it's not that tight a tunnel.
Right. Okay.
That final gap where they all have to squeeze out of, that gets a little tight, admittedly. But
Sure.
as far as, maybe she's just pretty heightened, claustrophobia sort of.
Yeah, absolutely. It seemed that way.
And like I mentioned, it was shot in a way that looked uncomfortable. So
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was definitely feeling it. They did a good job, I thought, of portraying that. How
Yeah. I
tight
agree.
and uncomfortable it was. So we got the Jerry tease, and even the music there. It really seemed like an emotional build up. This is the moment that Jerry's gonna die.
Yeah.
It was beautiful music, really good, but they really got us there.
I'm just glad they didn't put a dumpster there.
Oh,
No.
of course.
Oh yeah, man.
Just
What a
hides under the
callback.
dumpster.
What a horrible, horrible way to die, though. Being eaten from the feet up.
Oh.
Can you imagine?
At least he would plug the tunnel so the zombies
Oh,
couldn't
no.
come through.
You take that
That
back.
would be hey, that was Jerry, the actor, said that on Talking Dead. That was his joke.
Okay.
So that's fair.
Okay.
Yeah, so that we get through that. That's all good, thankfully. And Kelly finds a bit of dynamite, which yeah, oh dear,
Oh dear.
doesn't go anywhere good. So yeah, skipping a couple of small things that happen. Pretty much, Carol takes the dynamite and goes off behind everyone's back for like too many times now. Come on, Carol,
Yeah.
you should have learnt your lesson already. Although the music, like you were saying, was quite good in that moment. It felt like this could be the big moment of either her building up to sacrifice herself,
Yeah.
or someone else is about to die because of this.
I
Like, you
think she
knew.
still wants to die though, deep down. I think
Oh, she
Carol's had
does, it
enough.
seems so,
Like
yeah.
the character has had enough and would just happily embrace death.
Mm.
But like if she could bag, Alpha along with her, she'd do that. Like that's probably
Absolutely.
the only thing she's holding on to. Like she's
Mm.
broken
Yeah.
up with the king, doesn't have any children left, has got pretty much nothing. So it's like,
Sure.
yeah.
Also, the other thing is like, so her and Dal have been talking, and he's like, just tell me, we all want the same thing. Couldn't she have just said, hey, Daryl, look, we got this dynamite, right? Can we get everyone out of the cave, and then I'll go back and try and blow up the horde? And even if he says no, like he still wants to defeat the horde. Everyone wants the same thing.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
surely, they've got this dynamite. It's not like Daryl's just going to say, no way we're going to do that. Like, they're going to consider every possibility. So couldn't she have just either said that,
Yeah.
or at least just waited for everyone to get out of the cave, because they already know how unstable it is.
How unstable she is.
Oh, that's right. And I guess that's really why she did it. She's not in a good place at the moment. She is unstable and not in a good place mentally. So yeah, but no excuses, Carol.
Prone to
Had enough.
weakness.
So yeah, she slips.
Good impression.
Yeah, there we
It's
go.
like we're right back there.
Resemblance is uncanny.
Yeah.
Daryl saved her, but still, kaboom goes the dynamite. Kaboom.
Kaboom
Yeah.
goes the dynamite.
And oh man, Connie, I love Connie. Everything's going crazy and blowing up, and still she's the one who turns around and goes back in the
Yeah.
cave to go and get Daryl and Carol and help them out. And even after that, after they've come back, then Jerry's there holding up the log, and she tries to help out for a minute. It's just, they can't kill her off. They
I'll be
can't.
devastated if they do. I want to change my my top 5 characters. Was it 5?
Yeah,
I want to put
yeah.
Connie in that list. I
Yeah.
don't think I did, but she is awesome.
So yeah, there's all that chaos going on. Kelly gets out first. There's whisperers running at her. I thought that was pretty cool, actually. How
Yeah.
fast they were running. That was like, it's like even if after you're out of the cave, there's still danger. You still got to be right and alert, even though she's got dust in her eyes and everything. Yeah, just the constant danger. I thought that was cool. And then we've also got Magna, who goes back in and obviously then gets trapped or killed with Connie, yet to be confirmed. Yeah, what else did you guys feel about that scene? Was there anyone in particular you were really worrying wasn't going to get out of the cave? Probably Jerry, obviously, but
I don't see Aaron sticking around for too much longer. Somehow,
interesting.
Ah.
feel like his arc is kind of complete.
Okay,
Besides raising his daughter,
right.
pardon me, he doesn't really have a whole lot left, does he?
Yeah, that's
Or
true.
does he?
Hey.
I feel like if there's a bucket of characters who are on the chopping block just for like some shock, deaths of
Right.
main characters,
Yeah.
I reckon he's gonna go soon.
Yeah, possible. I really would like to see a bigger story arc for him before he, kicks the bucket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to
But,
see more of him
In
and
that
Negan.
bucket.
Yeah, true, definitely. They've got a good dynamic. And
Yeah.
also, visually, the way he looks at the moment is a big nod to Rick in the comics. Rick
Yeah.
loses a hand and has the metal hand, and also the beard is exactly the same as how Rick looked at that point in the comics. So it's nice to have that visual around there anyway, even if he's not the main character.
Nice.
But yeah, there you go. And then, so most of the people get out. Kaboom number 2, when the rest of the dynamite blows up. 'cause
Sorry, what
stuff
goes
falls on.
kaboom?
Dynamite goes kaboom.
Yeah,
Yep.
pulling that as a soundbite.
Okay. Well, okay. We got to use that. And yeah, man, both Daryl and Kelly's reaction to this was just heartbreaking. Hey,
Yeah.
yeah, seeing Daryl just like dive straight on. He's trying to pull out the rocks, even though everyone knows there's no way he's going to dig them out, but he's got to do something.
Yeah, he doesn't waste time on breaking down and crying, and yeah, it's good.
Yeah, he's
Really.
one. I love him for that reason. For lack of better words, there's no BS. It's just this is what needs to be done. Let's get in there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. How are you guys feeling at this scene? Were you feeling like in the moment? Were you thinking, oh, they've died, or how are you feeling about it just in the moment when everyone was crying and stuff like that?
It felt to me that they had died,
Okay.
but there were also little interjections, I suppose you could call it, of hope where, like you said before, I think, what was it that Kelly said?
Oh well, she was saying like, oh, we got to get out of here, and
We can help them later.
Yeah,
we can
like-
help them
yeah.
later. Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. And then Daryl's, there's another way in. We've got to find them.
Mm.
I liked that. It wasn't just, yep, cool.
Yeah.
Because my initial response is, man, they've just had a mind collapse on them. Obviously, 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to lose that battle.
Sure.
But having that little sliver of hope, I'm like, oh, actually, yeah, they could be trapped and buried alive, but alive nonetheless.
True. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Because I was really between like I was tearing up watching, just seeing the reactions, but definitely felt something. Just we need to see a body, and if we're gonna 100% believe that someone's
That's
dead
it.
on this show. By this point, I mean, even Glenn, we saw him getting like ripped apart, but it turned out it wasn't actually him.
There was no dumpsters here. So.
Yeah.
Although I'm really hoping that it's not another Sophia situation.
Yeah. Oh, where they finally get to them
Yeah.
and they've
turned.
Oh, don't even
I hadn't even
suggest that.
considered that.
That's what I've been
Oh,
considering, and it's been tearing me
no.
apart.
Oh, why would you burden the rest of us with that?
Because misery loves
Oh.
company.
Yeah, that could totally happen. Oh no.
I know.
We will blame you.
And we will all cry together.
Yes. But only Ben and I get tissues. You can use your t-shirt.
I will wear that.
Oh
Pun intended.
man,
Yeah.
that's totally possible. I hope not.
Yeah.
We'll see. So yeah. Well, I mean that's pretty much the end of the episode there. So, any overall thoughts from you guys that we haven't covered so far?
Well, we've covered it, but just my anger toward Carol.
Sure. Yeah.
Just
it's-
super annoyed, and I
Yeah.
know that that's how we're supposed to feel about it. Like that's how it's
Mm.
been presented to us. But just super annoyed.
Yeah.
Just
Absolutely.
I want to see the next one already, which is great. But I already want to see the next episode where it's like, all right, so in the fallout from that, where Carol's probably gonna now go into some deep depression, probably.
Yeah. Sure.
Kind of like then past that, what's gonna happen. So I'm looking forward to the future.
Yeah.
Definitely. Any other thoughts for like what could happen in future episodes from here with some of the other loose threads?
Probably just Negan using his newfound
Trust.
trust. Yeah.
There we go. That's
Thank you.
yeah.
Hopefully for the benefit of Alexandria.
Hopefully, yeah. I really
Yeah.
do want him to. Hey,
Yeah.
definitely.
That's really all I got.
okay. Yeah.
I hope that's the case.
Yeah. So I think that pretty much covers it as far as this episode, and yeah, definitely, like you're saying, looking forward to the next one and seeing where it goes from here.
Great.
And
Yeah.
really hope that they're still alive. At least
I
Connie.
know, hey.
I mean, Magna's great too, but come
Connie.
on.
Yeah,
Like
Connie
that.
needs to stay. I love both of them, but
Yeah,
Connie's got to stay.
absolutely. Yeah, so we're gonna go into another segment that we call
Previously on AMC's The Walking Dead.
nice.
Half decent.
Not
Thank
bad,
you.
not bad. So this gives us just an opportunity to talk about some of the previous seasons, because we started this show halfway through season 10. So yeah, there's plenty of great stuff from the show before that point that we'd love to talk about, whether it's scenes we like, things that we enjoyed, or even like discussion points, questions, whatever. Anything goes really, as long as it's from those those first few seasons. So
I like it.
I might go first with my one. I actually sent you guys a message a little while ago
Yes.
asking what would you do to deal with the quarry horde from back in season 6. So for context, they come across, there's a big horde there, and zombies have been like collecting there for a while, but it looks like the trucks that are blocking off the entrance are pretty loose, and they're gonna fall and sort of collapse in any day now, which would release a massive herd of zombies that would attack Alexandria. So the plan they end up doing is leading them away and doing this big convoluted thing, which is an interesting way of doing it, but a lot of people felt it was probably not the smartest way. So I want to ask you guys, what would you do, or what are some other creative ideas for how to deal with that horde?
Good question.
Good question.
I racked my brains and I thought to myself initially, like, would I have done it differently? And my first response was, well, yes, I'd obviously try and destroy the horde.
Okay.
But I really couldn't think of a way to get rid of that many, basically.
Sure.
Because there were thousands upon thousands.
There were
weren't
lots, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you could day in, day out, pick them off at the border, perhaps, and, I don't know, throw rocks at their heads, hope for the best. So I suppose it could be done, but it would take a very long time. And obviously the trucks looked like they were going to fall, which would then give them a choke point to get out. But yeah, I actually couldn't figure out a way to effectively take out that entire horde. So I suppose with that in mind, yeah, I think I probably would have done a similar thing and try and lead them away.
Okay.
Or at least scout out earlier like a kill zone.
Right, yeah.
Somewhere where you can lure them all in, I don't know, maybe amidst a cliff or something, and then just drop stuff on them.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, okay. Oh, good one. How about
Mine
you,
was
Isaac?
actually quite similar. Sorry to not
Right.
be creative.
Oh, that's okay.
But I sort of figured if any of you have ever chopped a tree down, I don't know, just
Right.
as a...
I've watched other people do it, and I've done
with
like
you.
2 hits with the axe,
or,
but
or
that's
like,
about
or
it,
like
yeah.
split blocks of wood or something. If
Right.
any of you have swung an axe or a
Okay.
sledgehammer in your life, like it's not that difficult to think that you could get at least 100 of them in like an hour or so. You don't have to be that physically fit to be able to do so. My point there is it takes about that much effort to like swing an instrument at a walker's head in order to incapacitate them, right?
Right, okay.
So setting up at whatever borderline, if you just had a group of your finest at that borderline and said, each of you one by one, we're just going to take shifts, like knock out 100 of these each a day, and like, by the thousands, they would start to get, removed.
okay.
And the horde was a couple of 100,000 or something. Like, it was
It
pretty.
was a lot, yeah.
There were a lot. But I get the feeling that once you knocked out your first maybe 20,000 even, the body count from that would be massive enough, like that you could reblock all of the borders with dead bodies and stuff.
Right,
very
yeah,
true.
yeah.
Yeah.
So use the dead bodies to make a
Yeah.
wall, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, interesting.
Yeah.
Good thought.
What about you?
So the main thing would be to just reinforce where the trucks were. If you can bring a new truck or something just to block the entrance for them getting out, that would be the main thing. But it looks like there are a few different ways that they could get out. So assuming that that's not an easy option, actually not too dissimilar to you, Isaac. Because there is a big forest up on top of the cliff. I was thinking like, could you like chop down trees and chuck them down the quarry, like crush
How
zombies?
good
or
would that have
something?
been, hey? That would have been an awesome scene.
But I don't know about the effort to results ratio there.
Yeah.
I mean, we've tried to move a tree out on your driveway here, and that was
That's
like a pretty
right.
small one, and we had a lot of trouble with that. So moving like big trees, I don't know about that.
Leverage.
Yeah,
about
Pulley
leverage.
systems.
yeah, true.
Yeah.
So that was an initial thought at least. Another one would be actually not dissimilar to what Carol was doing in this episode with if they had a bit of dynamite or something, could you blow the edge of the cliff out and like
Kaboom.
collapse a pile of rocks onto them or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a couple ideas, but really, there's plenty of ways all of them could go wrong. So
Yeah.
so I think the way they did it is probably not the worst idea, at least. Maybe there's a better one out there. If you got any suggestions, let us know. You can you message us on social media or email or whatever. That's turnsounds@gmail.com.
Excellent.
Yeah, so let us know any
Or
ideas.
yell
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
loudly. We will hear you.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Wow.
So am I to take it that from that suggestion that you actually like that whole like plot theme or scenes
It
revolving
was
around there?
silly and unrealistic, that side of it. But I really enjoyed that half of the season and all the story surrounding it. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. For sure. Did you?
I did, yeah.
Okay. Cool. Nice. Awesome. All right. Well, what have you guys got for this segment?
All right. Kind of superficial, I suppose, but when you think about it, so when any one of us talks about the undead, we all say zombies, right? Like anywhere around the world. But in this particular world, let's say this particular story, you got one group who calls them the walkers. You got like over at Woodbury calls them the biters or something like that, because they're all just like sick people as far as they know. They don't know what this condition is. Then like, what is it? Oceanside just calls them the undead or something, or like the dead walking or something.
Yeah, there's a lot of names
yeah,
that go
there is,
around.
isn't there?
Hey.
I like that there's no uniform, like this is a zombie and that's it.
Sure.
And you get people who think that they are curable as well. And so it's just this uncertainty toward this outbreak, this virus. And I think as a general, not really plot point, but as a theme rather, I like it that that they chose to go with walkers and not zombies. I think it
Yeah,
makes it a lot more
definitely.
special. They're not like, they are mindless flesh-eating things, but they're not like the zombies that we've seen portrayed in other things. And what better way to do that than to not call them zombies, to call them walkers, you know?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I like
Actually,
it.
on that note, Robert Kirkman actually mentioned why that was.
Who
why
did?
he does, the creator of an original comics.
Ah,
Yeah, that's not a spoiler,
Yeah.
is it?
Yeah, no.
not really.
okay.
Yeah, like he said, we don't actually use zombies because this is an alternate universe where zombies aren't a thing.
Yeah.
So from
Zombie
the Walking Dead's
movies,
perspective,
TV,
they've
anything,
never had
yeah.
anything in that sort of context come up before.
Yeah.
So they're not like, that's like a zombie. Or
Yeah.
It's like, what the heck? This is a dead person that bites me, and that it's not dying,
Yeah.
just walking.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's completely foreign to him, which I like. I think that's an awesome concept.
Mm.
absolutely. And it adds another level of, I guess, like realism to it as well. And like you're saying, with people not knowing how to deal with it, like if your mum starts attacking you and acting all crazy, sure, you'd figure something's wrong, but you're not going to instantly just assume she's something else and bash her in the head and kill her. Like,
Exactly,
You're
yeah.
going to hold out hope that she's just sick or there's something. So it makes sense that people aren't just going to instantly assume that it is what it is. Like, they're going to try and find a cure and do all these things. And that's why Herschel kept all the family and everyone in the barn
Yeah.
who had turned, because he believed that there'd be something come along to fix it. But yeah. So, that's a good thought, hey?
Hmm.
And yeah, it's good just to have all the different names and something. Establishes, makes it its own thing. So
Yeah.
that's cool. Good one.
Yeah, I
Liam,
like it.
what have you got?
I had two things that sort of struck me that I wanted to.
You
One
gotta
was just
one-up
a
us
point.
all the time, don't
No,
you?
one was just a man. You know who I miss? I miss T Dog.
Oh,
yeah.
I really like T Dog.
It's cool, hey?
Yeah. So that just struck me, and there was nothing else other than that.
Fair
So,
enough.
T Dog, my heart goes out to you, my man.
Yeah. It was cool.
Yeah.
Definitely.
How did he die again? Bite to the shoulder or something?
Yeah.
He was.
It was in
Saving
the
Carol,
same
was he?
episode that Laurie died as well.
The prison one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he got like bitten on the arm when he was closing one of the gates, but then he still, even though he was bitten and turning and stuff like that, he still went and helped and saved Carol. And then in the hallway when they got sort of cornered, he just ran at this pile of zombies and just pushed him against the wall to give Carol a chance to escape. So yeah, it was
Hero.
a nice heroic death,
Yeah.
Hmm.
even though
If only he
It
could
would've
see
been
what it
nice.
led to.
yeah, for him to stick around more.
Poor
Yeah.
guy.
Carol's done some good too.
Yeah. The other thing I was thinking of was, what do you think would have happened if the barn was never overrun? So say that herd never actually made it to the barn. Yes, it heard the gunshot,
Right,
but it sort
okay.
of veered off. Like, where would they have gone? Would they have stuck around for a bit longer? Because obviously there's different groups that have come into play.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was something that I pondered on. Would they have stayed at there? Probably not for too much longer, I don't think, because naturally the group is probably going to start to expand slightly, even though space is short as is.
Right.
I think that'll force them out and in the end. But yeah, it just sort of struck me for a while.
If I reckon they probably would have stayed there fairly long term if nothing had happened as far as walker attacks or people attacks or anything like that. Assuming nothing really dangerous comes along, you're on a farm, you can grow crops, you've got food, and they seem to be relatively safe for now. So yeah, I wouldn't really see much reason for them to leave unless a big event like that happened, or they, thought it's quite likely that something would happen.
Yeah.
I would have thought it'd be more personality clashes rather than anything. Like, you got
True.
Herschel, who really doesn't like Glenn, I think, at that point. Is that true? Because Glenn's all like with Maggie and whatnot.
Sure, yeah.
So there's like that typical father type thing. Thing. And then you've also got Rick, who's, I think butting heads with Herschel as well.
Right.
I think just because he wants to stay and all of that.
Sure. I think they do start to kind of warm up to each
Yeah.
other after the big event of, the barn opening up and stuff like that. Herschel kind of realizes that his family were gone, and it takes a while, but there is a point there where they're starting to mend those relationships and stuff like that. So, yeah, I feel like it could have worked out still. Well, I mean, obviously it did work out because, Herschel stuck with the group and all that.
Saved Carl as well.
Yeah. Nice.
I got another one. Hang on.
There's plenty to work with there, isn't there?
Yes, there is.
Yeah, good thought. That's cool. Yeah, definitely. It'd be interesting to see.
Nice.
All right. Well, I think we'll probably leave it there for this week then. But that was good fun. Good episode all
Yeah.
round. Actually, we won't do ratings maybe, but just overall, you're happy with the episode? Did you enjoy it?
Yes and no.
Okay. Yeah. Fair answer. And Isaac?
A little more wordy, if I'm allowed to.
Sure.
I think I'll like it better when I know what happens afterward.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
ditto.
That's definitely a good point. I agree.
If it turns out that Connie and such are alive, then I'll go, okay, that's all right
Sure.
then. But yeah,
Yeah, so the same as that, and also I really enjoyed watching the episode. I had a great time with the whole thing, but just, got to wait to see where they go with what happened at the end to really make a proper decision about it. Yeah, so I think we'll leave it there, but thanks so much for listening. You can find, we've got other shows as well, other podcasts that we run, and that all comes under the banner of Turn Sounds. So you can find us on social media at Facebook, we're Turn Sounds on there, Instagram, Turn Sounds or Turn Sounds Podcasts,
Twitter as well,
Yeah,
under all the
okay.
same things at Turn Sounds. And there's,
There
of
we
course,
go.
our website, www.turnsounds.com.
Good website. Yeah, that's it. And if you want to get in touch with us, you can message us on any of those platforms, or even send us an email. That's turnsounds@gmail.com. So we'd love to hear from you. Any questions and suggestions,
Great.
or
there it is.
anything else
Yeah.
that you want to talk about, just feel free to hit us up, and we'd love to talk with you. So just before we go as well, there's a group on Facebook I wanted to give a shout out to. That's the Walking Dead Stuff and Thangs. That's, with a stuff N and then thanks. There's a couple of zombie emojis in there as well. So, you'll be able to find it if you search for them. But I've been a part of the group for a while, and it's really just a nice community to be a part of. Lots of positivity, lots of love for the show. They don't, bash things unnecessarily and all that. So it's a great community to be a part of. I definitely recommend checking them out and joining that group. And they do lots of fun trivia contests and games and things like that as well. So it just makes it that much more fun to be a Walking Dead fan. So make sure you definitely go check them out. Thanks so much for listening. I've been your host, Ben.
And I've been Isaac, or Carl.
I have still been Liam, and I'm still on the roof of the library.
Nice.
Still stuck up there. Hang in there, buddy.
Skin starting to peel a little bit.
Yeah. I've got a wicked tan, though.
Yeah.
Wicked team. That's good.